So today I'm working on the 1994 Ford Ranger, and I'm going to be doing the body mounts on it. So the body mounts on mine are a little old and messed up. It is sagging a little bit. By that I mean a lot. And whenever I go over bumps, it does make a lot of noise. And since they were kind of overdue, especially the ones in the front, I figured I might do them all. So first thing, the body mount location. There is one here, one right here, and finally there is one right there. So for a total of 6 of them, 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, 2 in the back. Okay, so having to get to the bolts is a different story. What you're gonna have to do is take out your seats and carpet. Each of the locations have a plug on them. They look like this. So there's 1, there's 2, 3, 4's under there, and then lastly in the engine bay, there's 5 and then 6. Okay, so to get these bolts out, you're gonna have to work from the top down. And I recommend taking the seats out because you're gonna need to use, at least in my case, it was a very big breaker bar. You might have luck with an impact gun. I didn't as much because it had a lot of torque on them. So those are gonna take a lot of fighting and a lot of screaming to get out, at least in my case. And the bolts themselves look like this, and mine are a little bit worn out, but they drop directly down into here. So you're gonna have to fish them out whenever you get them. So I did all 6 of mine at once. May not be the best thing depending on how you do it. The body is not really kind of attached as much, but in any case, it is working. All right, so now you're at my predicament. You get this out, it wiggles, but you can't physically pry them out. They're pretty well in there. So what I had to end up doing was building myself a bushing press. And I'll show you that right now. So the bushing press itself consists of a 3-inch inner diameter pipe. Specifically, this one. I got this at an Advanced Auto Parts. I got these here. I got these from Ace Hardware. This is like a 3 1/4 inch, I think, fender, not a fender washer, but just a grade 8 washer. I got 2 smaller fender washers. I recommend getting something a little thicker than these because they like to bend a lot. And this bolt in particular is the same threading as what is in here. This is actually a head bolt out of my 2.3 because I blew up one of the pistons, but that's a different story. So how this will be assembled is like this. This goes together like so, and this pipe goes up top, and then from here you run this in with an impact gun to suck the bushing out. Once you have it up there, it's going to look like this. And then from here, take your impact gun or your whatever weapon you want to use, and don't do that. You want to run it up and make sure that everything here is centered properly. Whenever you start to impact it on there. Take 2. I'm going to try something different. This one's getting to be a little bit tough to do. Alright, so here goes nothing. Like that. There it goes. It's out. Alright, so it looks like this is the better kind of press that worked. I ended up swapping out the two washers on the inside for bigger ones. They're thicker, definitely. And then one more spacing one that I needed to kind of keep the bolt from going through. This works pretty well, so if you're going to try to go through anything, do this. And, I mean, I guess you guys can Google what threads these are, but it kind of gives you an idea. You can just do any variation of washers that you wish. Especially you can find a big one like this that has a tiny hole in the center. That'll probably work the best. Alright, so this is the piece that got pressed out. It should technically come off with ease. At least you hope so. That you didn't strip it out or anything. Luckily I didn't with this one, but you know, just be careful. All right, next thing you want to do, jack up the truck. There's some points you can lift it on. You want to make sure you're lifting it on the body, not the frame. All right, I know it's just a little sketchy, but what you want to do is you want to get that gap to widen enough where you can slide that bushing out. So I'm going up right now, and it doesn't want to stay. It's going to be a pain in the ass, isn't it? That's the main goal. You want to get this come out, and then you want to have enough room where you can take that out right there. All right, so far it looks like the best jack point is there, but that would not be easy to film, especially taking the bushing out, which is right here. That just simply slid in like that. So it's just taking this guy out and then getting your new bushing ready. So this one pops off, just slides off, or it's supposed to, in theory. You can see kind of how crusty this one is. These are the two halves of it. And then here's the new one. What you're probably going to have to do with the new one is hammer it on. You don't really have to use anything big. You can just, you know, hit it with a hammer. I can't, like, hold it and hit it at the same time and film it. I mean, I can try, but... You don't even have to go heavy. You just can do light taps, just enough to get it to kind of seat on there. And then you can let the truck do the rest of the work. Alright, so I got this guy mostly on there. You slide it in, and then lower the jack. And then you can go ahead and remove it. That will end up taking up most of the weight, and any extra gap will be removed whenever you tighten up the bolt. Alright, so now that you have that piece ready, all it has to do is go back up there. And usually it's good to have an extra bolt on hand so that when you run the bolt through the body, then it won't fall out. But anyway, so that's up there now, and now you just run the bolt through and do the others, and then you can tighten them all down in sequence. Alright, before I go, the easiest ones I found to do were the ones that were in the engine bay. Those kind of came out no problem. And then the hardest ones have been the four here. So that should be really it. I mean, once you get the bolts in for all of them, just tighten them all down, because it'll make it easier that way instead of trying to jack up the body and, you know, having it fight you. So right now the body's kind of just on there, so it's easy to go up and down without binding. But anyway, I think that'll be it for this one. Take care.